When I finished reading it, I was just like, what on earth did I just read? What did I miss? I need you to finish the book now because I just don't understand.
Hey page turners, you're listening to Pages Across the Prairies,
your virtual book club and place to share the whimsy of reading.
We're your hosts, Adriana
and Christine, and we're so glad you're here. Hi, welcome back to Pages Across the Prairies, your favorite book club. Today we are discussing We Used to Live Here by Marcus Kliewer.
We Used to Live Here by Marcus Kliewer is a tense, unsettling psychological horror story that slowly blurs the lines between reality and something far more disturbing. The novel follows a couple renovating an old house that they recently bought. One evening, a family shows up at the door during a storm, asking to come inside because they used to live there. At first, it feels like an awkward but harmless visit, a quick look around a home that once belonged to them. But something is not right. The family lingers, their behavior becomes strange, rooms feel different, and details are just not adding up. As the tension builds, the story spirals into a chilling exploration of identity, memory, and the terrifying question, what if the place you live isn't actually yours anymore?
I like that summary. I like how you said slowly, because for me it is certainly slowly. Like I know the
so slow.
Yeah. And I'm not complaining about the pace of the book. I think that there's a lot of action happening, but it's still like a slow blur. No spoilers.
Yes. Exactly.
Okay. Oh, speaking of, this is our spoiler-free episode. We will be doing a spoiler-full episode, and I really do, if you do read this book or if you're interested in this book, I'm going to recommend that spoiler-full episode because there is so much to dive into with this book.
Yeah. There's all sorts of corridors and dark places that we're going to dip into.
Yeah. Okay. So did this book remind you of any other books?
Yes. So I didn't finish this book, but it gave me the same kind of feeling as The Last House on Needless Street. So yeah, I didn't finish that book, so I can't 100% say, but it just gave me the same like eerie vibes. But
that one.
Then there was no, it one's a whole different level though, I think. But it still gave me the same kind of eerie feeling. I'm wondering if
that's also in the horror genre. Like I know it's like a creepy book, but
I think so. Yeah, it reminded me of three
psychological horror and psychological thriller, whereas this one is categorized primarily as horror. Yeah.
Okay. Interesting. Those lines blur together.
They do. Yeah.
It made me think of Grady Hendrix's How to Sell a Haunted House, and I did not really enjoy that book. So, yeah. But then this book, The Hollow Places by T. Kingfisher, this novel we just finished, made me think of that one. But I loved The Hollow Places. So, like, I still think about it all the time. It's full of alternate dimensions. I highly recommend reading The Hollow Places.
So
even if you're not sure about this one, read that one.
Like, yes, it is. It's funny that you mentioned How to Sell a Haunted House because when I was researching other books like this, because we don't usually in this book club do horror. I think we've done like maybe 3 that are specifically just horror. We do psychological thriller, but horror not as much.
Yes.
But they recommend September House, which is one we did not read.
Okay.
So
it sounds familiar. Okay.
Yeah. So I couldn't really think of any. Like I think you're right with How to Sell a Haunted House. A lot of comments said Shutter Island. I know that's a movie. I don't know if it's a book too, but
yeah. If it is, I haven't read it.
No, I don't know. It's never piqued my interest, but I've also not really spoken to anybody about it. So if anybody really likes it or recommends it,
it's a novel.
Okay, good to know. I kind of figured a lot of movies are just based off novels. Speaking of, this one is supposed to become a Netflix movie. Yeah,
okay.
we went back and forth on trying to figure out if that was actually the case. It is. The only thing is that the author himself is not going to have as much to do with it, and that's a personal choice from what I've heard. This book has a really big fandom, and it's very. I'm trying to think of how to word it, but it's like really specific, like. So if you're going to miss details, I think it could make a big, I don't know, like people are going to be watching for all these details and this book is very detail oriented. So we'll see how the movie goes. I'm curious to watch it, but I imagine if there's any missed details, people are going to be on top of that.
Oof, that's a rough one to make a movie out of.
Especially without the author's guidance.
Yeah. I mean, I could see it being maybe better as a TV show. because then you can really dive
Is
into
it
all these
going to be a
different
movie or a
things.
TV show? I thought movie, but maybe TV show would be really cool. But
Yeah.
then more room for them to start making up their own storyline, and I just often don't
Yes.
trust the film industry to do that.
No, I think that's fair.
Like
they like
from
to
a
go
book.
off script. Yes. Okay, well, that's really interesting. I'm excited to watch that movie in the future.
So before we get a little bit more into this fandom behind the book, I was curious how you accessed this book.
I listened through audio for this book. I wish I had a hard copy for... I didn't even know that it came with all these sorts of bits and bobs, but I wish I had a hard copy. However, that being said, listening to the book, the intro had best spooky music, and the narrator was perfect for reading a horror novel. So there was still a lot of perks about listening through audio. What about you?
I also did audio. I kind of wish that I had the hard copy. Horror is not always my genre of choice, so it's hard for me to stick with something spooky reading it on paper copy. So I'm still happy that I went with the audio. The audio is really, really good. But if you're going to try figure out this book at all, if you want to go down the rabbit hole at all with it, I would recommend that hard copy. I think it would have, like when you have the hard copy, when you open it up, as far as I'm aware, I don't have it. There's a map of the house with descriptions and stuff. There are little puzzles. There's Morse code in it, and you do get Morse code between the chapters in the book. And that's not spoiler. I don't think it's spoiler. In the audio, you get Morse code. But it would have signaled to me right away that, okay, this is a book that I need to obviously pay attention to, but kind of keep track of what's going on. And I would have loved to annotate stuff and be able to flip back. And I didn't get that opportunity with the audio.
Yes. Yeah, I agree. It would have been good to cross-reference.
Definitely.
For sure.
Yeah. I like both, though. I think that you should give the audiobook a little bit of a try because it was fun.
Right? It was so much fun.
We were both drawn in right away off the start.
Yeah, a big book drawn on the audio. It was so chilling.
Yeah. I was like, oh, this is going to be creepy.
I know. I was like, ooh, good goosebumps already.
So we kind of discussed the genre, draw-ins for this book. I think the book is like a big puzzle. If you like solving things, you're going to love this book. If you like a strong fandom, you're going to love this book.
Yeah, if you want to be left questioning what's real, this is the book for you.
If you like world building, if you like an author who puts a lot of thought into their work, and an author who is quite active with their community as well, this one would be the book for you.
Yeah, I think that sums it up real good.
On that note, so I didn't know when we got into this book how big I knew it was kind of like a book talk book. I'd seen it recommended a lot, but we happened upon it because it was available for me on Libby right away. So we went with this book, and I didn't quite know the community that I was getting into.
Yeah, I had no idea until you sent me stuff.
Even after finishing the book and going on the Reddit threads, there's people on Reddit, there's people on YouTube, there's podcasts about this book. It has a big community. And even after having read the book, some of these things that they were saying, I was like, what?
It's like, how do we miss this?
Yeah, really. Especially, I missed a lot. Because I was just...
I know, me too.
I don't want to spoil it, but I was kind of taking it at face value off the start, and I was just casually listening. I don't know. You can casually listen to it. I think you will enjoy it. I did enjoy it, but you can definitely go deeper if you want to.
Yeah, I was too naive listening to it.
And then I find this whole community. I'm like, oh,
whoa, what did I just miss?
I missed a lot, apparently. But I'm not the person you want in an escape room, and I feel like this book is an escape room, right?
Great.
And so that just makes sense that, of course, I would have missed it. Okay. If you choose to go on Reddit after reading this book, a lot of them, I think it's called an ARG, which I didn't have experience with. I have experience with LARP. Well, not personal, but I know what it is. Live action role playing where you're pretending to be whatever, But ARG is, from what I can tell, it's more of like a textual version of that. Correct me if I'm wrong, because I'm very naive on this. But so when you go on to it, a lot of people are talking as if they are part of the book, which in the book itself, there are threads and comment boards. So I was trying to research this book as if some of the comments and stuff were reality. Then you go on to Reddit and you see people talking as if they were in the book. And it gets a little confusing if you're a novice. We used to live here reader like I.
Yes.
But yeah, ARG, alternate reality game. Like, it's got this huge fandom. It's got these big followers, people working together to solve the puzzles within the book. I feel like that's really good to know before reading the book, personally.
Mm-hmm. I think so. There should be a little warning saying,
Yeah.
hey, this is what you're getting yourself into.
Yeah, because I don't usually like to reread stuff. This one, I think that even people who don't like to reread it would probably consider rereading. I'm probably going to not. I don't know. We'll see.
Maybe years down the road we'll revisit
Yeah,
it.
if you want to kind of know without spoiling the book for yourself, if you kind of want to know what you're getting into, the author does short stories. The Man in My Basement takes one step closer every week. So that is a short story, and it came before the book as far as I'm aware, and it's short story in the fact that it has 16 parts. But if you wanted to have an idea without spoiling this book for yourself on what kind of clues you might be looking for or how it might play out, it's set in the same reality. So I would recommend maybe doing that one first. I did it after because, like I said, I don't really reread, but it helped me kind of clue into, oh, okay, I can see these patterns.
Oh, that's so clever. That's a great idea.
And it is so creepy.
Oh, I think I need to give that a read next. Quick.
I recommend it. Okay, so on that note, I don't want to get any further into that without, because we'll start spoiling it, I think.
Yes. Too easy to do.
So let's get into our quotes.
Yes.
I only had one. I think there's a lot of quotable stuff in this book. I only had one just because I was listening while driving. And again, I think that's why I had it as such a casual read. And I don't think I would have, knowing what I know now, I wouldn't have done that because it's the kind of thing I'd want to be rewinding and stuff, but I was just casually.
Yeah.
3-hour road trip.
A notebook for this book. Oof. That's the place to listen to a book, though.
Okay. There was an unusual heaviness to the dark down here, as if it were soaking up the light, hoarding it away for some unknown purpose. There's a lot of good descriptions of dark in this book.
Yes. Yeah, I wish I had caught more of the descriptions, but it's so hard to, like you're saying, when you're driving and listening or working on something. Yeah.
What do you have?
So I have 4, but 2 of them are like related to each other. And then I spiraled a little bit from there. So we'll start with the shortest one. The simplest explanation was usually correct.
Oh, I like that. That's Occam's razor, right? I think people pronounce that differently, but that's how I've pronounced it, and I'm going to continue to do so.
I think so. And then number 2, in times of stress, take mental notes of your environment, your senses. Stay focused on the present moment.
See, I think that is, without spoiling, such a clever tactic for a horror novel. Like, when it was in times of stress, did it say? Right.
Yes.
So there's going to be stress in a horror novel, and so to be able to break down the environment like that, I thought that was so clever. I was appreciating it every time.
Yeah, it's I really liked how much they were just like, okay, we're going to look around the room. And I think that was a trick to really draw us into the book.
Like, the character that was doing this, I was really impressed with her because I would not be able to.
Nope. I'd be like, nope, get out.
Yeah, panic.
Wouldn't even know what color my own shoes are.
I mean, I guess she would be a good witness. She'd be a great witness.
Yes, she would be. All right, so then the 2 that are related to each other are the vague shape in the dark could be a rock or a predator ready to pounce. Better for your brain to assume a predator than to be eaten alive.
I liked that. I think it was this book that kind of breaks down how the more tired or exhausted you get, the more you start to view things as a threat, right? That came from this book? Yeah. It had some really good facts and explanations.
Yes, it did. Yeah, so then leaning on that, the more distressed the subject is, the more likely they are to perceive faces in the ink blots, threatening faces in particular.
Okay, I'm glad you included that. I should have just waited.
It's all such a really fascinating topic, and then that's when I decided to start researching pareidolia.
And they did have a little passage on that, right? Pareidolia in this book?
They did. So it was in the document called Ink Blots, which is like 75% way through the book. And then I decided to start Googling more of that because I know myself, I always see faces and things, and it's actually like a quite common trait in people. Exactly. Yeah. We try to see meaning out of unrelated events. And I mean, I think we were designed to detect patterns quickly, even if they're not there, because it was a survival advantage for early humans. You know, to think something was theirs and then to actually miss out on a real threat.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know, a sign of protection. Better to be on the side
Caution.
of caution. Perfect.
Yeah. Yeah, I thought it was pretty cool. I liked a lot of the little scientific breakdowns. Somebody who had read this book, then what they did, because it's divided between, there's chapters and then in between each, I don't know if it's in between each chapter, but there's documents. So it's kind of like a little aside from the story. And somebody had gone through and just read all those first.
Oh. Because, it's after every chapter there's a document.
Yeah. So I thought that was an interesting, I don't know if it would be the best way to approach this book, but just an interesting approach.
I really like that. That'd be interesting just to see it from that point of view.
Yeah, because then you're looking for, there's a document really far into this book that works as kind of a key. I don't want to spoil it, but gives you some insight as to what might be going on. And so if you had that off the start, perhaps you would approach the book differently.
Yeah, that's the thing. This is a book that'd be nice to reread or read the first time again with knowing and not knowing everything at the same time. There's not many books where, I wish I could reread this for the first time ever. But
I wish I had notes. I wish I had highlighters.
Yes.
Sticky notes, and I wish I'd gone into this book a little bit more aware.
So that's why we are telling you.
Yeah, it's not that you can't enjoy it as a casual read. I did. You don't have to get super into it, and I think our spoiler full version is going to be more of a novice view of it, because there are people who do these really like people who've spent time researching and learning and listening to what the author has to say and being on his live chats and stuff. So it's more of like a leisure view of it, I guess. Yeah.
I think so. Yeah, I think definitely more of a leisure view, because I know when I finished reading it, I was just like, what on earth did I just read? What did I miss? I need you to finish the book now, because I just don't understand. I just felt lost.
Yeah, I definitely did too. And I saw some people who said online, they were like, oh, I DNF'd this book. It is confusing, or the world building's poor. Like, first of all, do not. Do not with the world building, because there is a world. You just haven't figured it out yet. I don't. If you're going to stop reading this book, it is confusing. Even when you finish it, it's going to be confusing for you. But I would recommend maybe reading a summary on this book, maybe reading a little bit more before you DNF it, because some of the comments that I was reading, the reasoning behind it just wasn't true. They just hadn't gotten there yet. Which
it's a little bit of, it's a slower burn in the big picture.
Definitely. Yeah. But okay. I guess on that note, would you recommend this book?
So I've been battling with this question a lot, because I did enjoy the book, but it left me so bewildered and confused that I'm just like, do I want other people to go through this same mental confliction? I think that if you're like what we talked about, if you're into a book that's very roller coaster, wacky, whimsy, but not in a fun way, but a really curious way.
It is a scary book, I think.
It is. Like, I don't often get scared from books, and I'm pretty sure I started seeing shadows when I got up in the middle of the night. Like, I read it before bed, and I'm like, I said that's a bad idea, and I had nightmares. So, like, it actually spooked me. If you want a good spooker book, this is it. So, yes, I recommend it, because I still have, like, eerie feelings in the middle of the night when I get up because of this book.
Yeah.
I'm so glad I don't have a basement.
You want to question your reality.
So, yes.
I think that I would also recommend this book. I think I'd only recommend it to a certain type of reader, though. I think this book is a gift. I really do. I have a lot of appreciation for this book, but I think that I don't know, because I don't know if everybody's read it, but I feel like it's not for some readers, possibly.
Yeah. No, I don't think it's for everybody.
But that's fine. I'm happy I stumbled upon it.
I'm so glad you did. I love a book that makes me question everything.
If I'd known about it, I don't think I would have chosen to read it at this time. I would have been like, that's too much for me right now. but I'm happy that I did. There is another book. When the first one came out, because this is the author's debut novel, I believe. When it first came out, people were actively researching it. The author was really active with that community. I don't know if that's still happening, but now you have this second book that is also set in the same world. And so you have kind of like back-to-back research it. And if I had to guess, people are probably really in the throes of researching that one right now.
And that one's called The Caretaker? Yes. Yeah. I don't know anything about that.
No,
one,
I didn't. I spent a lot of time researching this one. I was like, that's going to stay over here for now. All right. So on that note, I think you'll have a pretty good idea from this episode whether or not you're going to read the book. I do recommend it.
Yep. Yeah, grab a copy and listen to the audio at the same time.
Yeah,
off you go.
Do that. And I'm going to make a little, just for our socials, links to all of the research information that I found. Other people who've done the research for me. Because people spend a lot of time. So you can use that as a guide, or you can jump into our spoiler full version where we dive into the book a little bit more, but more of a cursory kind of thing, and give you the research tools to research further should you choose.
Perfect.
All right. So that's all we've got for this time. Thanks for joining us. Like, share, subscribe. We don't always read this style of book, so we've got lots of other ones. Feel free to browse our episodes. I don't know.
Perfect. Well, we'll see you in the next episode.
Thanks for flipping through pages across the prairies with us. Until next time, keep your tea warm, your bookmark handy, and if you enjoyed today's chat, like, share, and subscribe to join us again.